In December 1972, a human crew left the lunar surface for the very last time. Since then, our engineering capabilities have accelerated. We've built complex space stations in orbit and deployed advanced robotic rovers to map the surface of Mars. Yet, despite half a century of rapid technological growth, no human has stepped foot on the moon since the Apollo era. You'll find plenty of theories online claiming that astronauts found alien structures or that governments are suppressing dark secrets. But decades of public data, thousands of photographs, and hundreds of kilograms of lunar rocks yield no verified scientific evidence for any of these claims. The actual explanation for our 50-year absence comes down to the collision of shifting geopolitical economics, the loss of highly specialized manufacturing supply chains, and the engineering reality of trying to survive in a hostile environment. The Apollo program was driven by the political competition of the Cold War. Once the United States successfully landed humans on the moon in 1969, the political race was won, and the intense urgency that funded the project quickly faded. The financial burden was massive. Adjusted for inflation, the Apollo missions cost the equivalent of over $100 billion in today's currency. As new economic pressures mounted back home, governments could no longer justify that level of ongoing investment. To keep the agency running, NASA had to rethink its strategy. The focus shifted toward developing reusable spacecraft that could operate closer to Earth, eventually giving rise to the Space Shuttle program. People often wonder why we can't build another Saturn V rocket today using the original plans. We didn't lose the knowledge, but we did lose the industrial ecosystem that supported it. The specialized factories closed decades ago. The custom machinery was dismantled, and the thousands of expert engineers who understood those specific manufacturing techniques retired. This technical schematic shows the internal configuration of the original lunar module. An exact replica of this 1960s analog hardware would fail to meet today's safety standards, which require highly integrated digital systems and modern materials. Returning to the moon means starting over. You cannot construct a modern spacecraft from an isolated schematic. You have to rebuild the entire manufacturing supply chain from the ground up. And reaching the surface is only the first hurdle. The Apollo astronauts were on short-term visits, staying for just a few days at a time. Modern space agencies have shifted toward long-duration stays, requiring astronauts to maintain habitats and scientific operations for months at a time. This chart plots the extreme temperature swings on the lunar surface. Because the moon lacks an insulating atmosphere, temperatures soar to 127 degrees Celsius during the day and plummet to negative 173 degrees at night, creating severe thermal stress for any permanent habitat. Then there is the environment itself. Lunar dust is made of microscopic, jagged particles formed by billions of years of meteorite impacts. Without wind to smooth them down, these glass-like shards easily slice into spacesuits and degrade mechanical joints. Designing reliable life support, securing a constant water supply, and building heavy radiation shielding that can withstand this environment over long periods requires engineering solutions we are only just now perfecting. The moon is a hostile environment. Landing there is difficult, but keeping humans alive there for extended periods is a vastly more complex challenge. Humanity didn't abandon space exploration. We spent the last few decades in low Earth orbit, using platforms like the International Space Station to study human biology and microgravity and refine the technology necessary to keep crews alive off-world. Now, a new industrial base has been established. Through NASA's Artemis program, an entirely modern ecosystem of heavy-lift rockets and advanced spacecraft is finally prepared to return astronauts to the lunar surface. Rather than flying directly to the ground, future crews will travel to the Lunar Gateway, a small space station that will orbit the moon and serve as a permanent staging point for surface operations. This satellite map reveals the destination for upcoming missions, the heavily cratered terrain of the moon's south pole. Within these permanently shadowed craters, temperatures preserve ancient water ice. Extracting it is crucial. It can be processed into drinking water, oxygen, and hydrogen rocket fuel. Processing fuel on site reduces the weight spacecraft must lift from Earth's gravity. This local resource makes the moon a viable staging area for testing hardware before the multi-month journey to Mars. The Apollo missions proved that we could reach another world. After decades of redirected budgets and dismantled factories, the work of reconstructing a lunar presence has finally begun, positioning the Moon as our permanent foothold in the solar system.